Julia， 您是 Making Noise 的其中的主办人之一哦。那我想要请问的是，其实您对媒体歧视亚裔的美国人有什么样的反应呢？
其实呢，这次因为亚裔的歧视事件的报道呢，因为各种因素，因为刚刚像 Selina 讲的，跟 Selina 跟 Telly 跟那个 Elizabeth 讲的，因为各种因素，歧视行为的疫情、政治等等，所以而且还有就是歧视行为的量和严重性，所以各大媒体都还算是很详细的报道这件事情。可是，正如 Selina 刚刚讲的，如果只是看媒体报道，对亚裔的歧视只会变成昨天的新闻。那我们的行动绝对不能是因为是亚裔的歧视不在头条，就停止我们的这些努力。那所以，我觉得大家各位在做的一些努力是，我觉得是就像 Selina 刚刚讲的是。还有就是支持是非常值得、非常感人的，所以这个 community 集体出来，不管是媒体也好，就像 Skylink 媒体也好，或者是社区来支持这次对亚裔歧视的阻止跟提醒，我觉得绝对是应该是超越5月。5月当然是 Asian American Heritage Month， 所以很多事情都集中在5月在发生。可是5月这种事情只是一个开头而已，所以希望是可以继续做这样子的努力下去的。
As for Julia， 你是 Making the Noise 其中的创办人之一，那你有很多的 celebrities 都在响应这样的活动。我想要知道，其实对于艺人响应这样子的活动，这样的 social awareness， 它的意义何在？
对，我是希望说 Make Noise Today， 当然，就是对这些所谓的明星跟有名人的支持是蛮大的。可是呢，与其说是邀请了这些明星跟有名人的行动，我觉得应该说是我们希望是善用影响力的活动。那不管怎么样，这些明星或者有名人呢，就是非常有影响力的，影响力是资产，所以呢，需要善加利用。所以这次 Make Noise Today 的主旨得到了很多人的共鸣。就像刚刚讲的是，利用了5月的 Asian American Pacific Islander Heritage Month 来开始。所以我们的目的呢，稍稍跟 Selina 跟 Telly 的公司的活动有一点差别，是说我们是希望亚裔人被人看见、被人听见，所以不是说只是歧视这一方面来讲。亚裔人常常会被人家讲说是 invisible minority， 是乖乖牌。对，那我是觉得说，这次是蛮感人的，就是年轻人对这次的歧视活动的这个集体的反应，我个人我老人是觉得很感人，因为以前呢，我们都会觉得说，我们这一辈的人，大部分的人发生这种事情的时候，大概很会说，不要去反应的太强烈，我们最好不要直视这些歧视的人。就是不要看到了，是不是这些事情就会过去了？那这次看这些集体的年轻人的反应，觉得非常的棒，觉得这真的是非常有希望。所以我是希望说，这次 Make Noise Today 的做法是希望说，我们可以继续被人看到、被人听到。然后善用大家的影响力，影响力绝对不是只有明星跟有名人，我们每一个人都有影响力，所以我们是希望说大家善用自己的影响力去支持这样子的活动。
其实 Julia 就像你刚刚提到，我们希望每一个人都被看见 ，because everyone is your own star. Only if you recognize yourself as an individual, then others can recognize you as a well-being too. Next, let's give the microphone to Telly. Telly, you a little bit earlier said that you personally did experience discrimination. In that case, as the Wash the Hate, this one of social awareness, how do you identify or qualify an act of discrimination?
Yeah, well, we're creating a very broad platform So
Yes.
initially, when we created the campaign, we were asking people to make a video, wash your hands for at least 20 seconds while you're sharing a story about how the pandemic has affected you. And it didn't necessarily have to be a hate crime. We just wanted to put faces and voices to the community, because as this community grows more diverse, it's becoming much less monolithic. And at the same time, I don't think any of us want just a select few to speak on our behalf. But with that said, we've also been getting stories about assaults and incidents of hate. And that includes some of our ambassadors and our celebrity spokespeople that have personally experienced COVID-related hatred. When that ranges from just words being shouted at them at the supermarket to, attacks and violent assaults.
Mm-hmm. That's a lot of different kind of discrimination that people are experiencing us right now or in the past, maybe in the future. How's Watch the Hate go and how do you reach it?
Yeah, our goal was really just to create conversation. We don't expect, our campaign or I think any hashtag campaign to be able to change the world overnight. So what we were trying to do is really just create some awareness. And the next step from that is to create conversation. And then hopefully through that conversation and through purposeful dialogue, we can create some change that's positive in the world.
Mm-hmm. Creating the awareness for people to realize what is discrimination and what is hate crime. As Elizabeth did mention a little bit earlier, hate speech is not a crime. Mm-hmm. When people are standing out for themselves, some people might feel they're victimized. So is there any way of how you explain or how do you avoid self-victimization versus social awareness?
Well, personally, I think in these times, you just have to be very vigilant and be aware of your surroundings. And right before the lockdown, especially here in New York, the Hasidic Jewish community was facing a lot of assaults. And I think there's lessons learned from that. Unfortunately, hatred, racism, it's a sucker punch. It hides in the shadows and waiting for you to be vulnerable to come and attack. It won't. Very rarely they'll do it to your face.
Go away. Yeah.
And so I think that's one of the things that we're trying to get across. And at the same time, I think just raising this issue of hatred and racism towards the Asian American community is unfortunately very new to other people. When I was talking about this campaign to certain folks who are outside of our community, they were saying, "Oh, it's great that you're doing this because this is the first time, Asian Americans are facing, this level of racism." And I said, "No, that's completely wrong." But I think, unfortunately, the education has not been there historically, and we as a community haven't really spoken out about these issues as loudly as we are now.
Yes, as Telly and as Selena and Julia was saying a little bit earlier, it's not like this hate crime or hate speech never existed before. It's actually because there were less people, or we were taught in our heritage that don't say anything. As the world is evolving, we are more outspoken. We want people to know what is going on with us. Last question I have for Elizabeth. 如果觉得你自己是歧视的受害者，你应该怎么办？可以为受害者提供哪些类型的法律顾问呢？
可以。所以除了当律师，我也是那个 National Association of Asian American Professional NAP 的 board member。然后 NAP 是一个 national 的 Asian American Association， 所以我们不是只有加州，全美国都会听到很多这些 case。所以 NAP 就有跟一个 group 叫 Hollaback， 你们如果有听说 Hollaback， 我们有个 partnership。那 Hollaback 是一个 organization 专门给这个 discriminated 的 victims。要怎么样子做 intervention training， 所以如果我们在街上，如果我们不是 victim， 可是我们看到人家被 victimized 的话，我们要怎么样做？那他们有一个 multiple step process。第一个 process 不是直接 intervene， 事实上 intervention 是 the last step。第一个 step 是你要直接先去 distract 那个 victim。你去跟那个 victim 开始讲话，好像不小心把你的咖啡打翻在他的脚上啊，或怎么样子，反正把 victim distract 了以后，不要去跟那个 abuser 那个
正面交锋。
对，不要去跟他那个有 interaction， 可是你去跟那个 victim 开始讲话，那有的时候这就会把这个事情拆开掉，那个 abuser 可能就走掉了 ，victim 也不会回话还是怎么样就没事了。那第二步是去 get help， 你可以如果是在一个店里头，你可以找一个店的员工啊去 intervene， 还是打911还是怎么样子，反正 get outside help， 不要自己去 intervene。那最后一步，如果这些都没办法做成功的话，那再去直接 intervene。可是你最好不要把自己放到中间，因为给你自己也有危险。那最近有一个案子，就是在北加州，这个 last weekend 有一个女的，她到每个人的家，每个中国人的家去 post 那个 letters， 说你们回到你自己的国家。那很多人都觉得，这个是 hate speech， 应该是犯法的，可是他没有好像 directly threaten someone， 所以他被关了不到1天就被放出来了，然后也没有罚款，也没有怎么样子，所以事实上 hate speech 不是不是 illegal， 所以很多人在外面乱讲话的话，很多都是不是 illegal 的，也不会被 punished 的。那你就是看你是 victim 或者你是 bystander， 要怎么样保护自己就是了。
今天非常感谢 Racism is Contagious 的 Selena Watch the Hate 的 Telly， 还有Making Noise Today 的 Julia， 以及我们的 Lawyer Friend Elizabeth Yan， 跟我们提到了，其实每一个人都应该真实的存在，无论你今天人在何处，或者是身在何方，每一个人都应该拥有自己的声音，拥有自己的身段，更要拥有自己的节气。无论你身在何处，人在何方，如果你想要为自己发声，都应该要站出来。如果你想要帮助弱小，就应该更了解到什么叫做 hate speech， 如何去尽量避免我们所谓的歧视或者是 racism。 每一个人都应该要 make some noise today， 因为 racism is contagious， 千万不要忘了，让我们一起 watch the hate。